I think all of us would agree that if our team was better at selling, if our team was better at enrolling or closing, their businesses would be more profitable, which means your business would be more profitable. I've always had the gift of gab. Is that what they say? I was always a good communicator. I was always an energetic person, right? I always had enthusiasm. And sometimes people say, John, I'm so excited about my business. It's like, tell your face. Tell your face. Tell your voice. Like, you need to show up with that energy and that enthusiasm. But I'm going to give you two major keys when it comes to follow-up, because the fortune is definitely in the follow-up. I want you to build up your confidence, your posture when it comes to follow-up. And you just need to start closing. Stop selling and start closing. And I know that sounds funny, but a big reason people tend to struggle when it comes to closing and enrolling, I think a lot of it has to do with they are a little too pushy, a little too desperate. They come on too strong. They have that commission breath and it stinks. How many of us are guilty of this? I know for me, I was always, I was really excited, but sometimes, we say, you want to be ignorance on fire, it's better than knowledge on ice. Ignorance on fire is better than knowledge on ice. But if you come across as needy, if you come across as desperate, it doesn't turn people on. It doesn't make people want to work with someone. Even if the business looks good, they say you can't say the wrong thing to the right person and the right thing to the wrong person. And I disagree. You can definitely say the wrong thing to the right person if you come on too strong. How many of us remember dating? If you saw or met someone that's like super attractive and you're like, damn, kind of like when I first saw Nadya, I was like, damn, I never met a Nadya in person. American Pie had just come out. And I was like, oh my gosh, a real life Nadya. Plus she was obviously like, not just super gorgeous, but she was like super funny and I loved her personality. And I just, I had to know her, you know what I'm saying? And the truth is, if I would have come on too strong, if I would have been like real needy, real pushy, real desperate, she would have been like, oh no, I am not interested at all, right? So I had to play the game a little bit. So some of you need to learn to play the game. Some of you need to pace yourself a little bit. I was just talking to a leader on my team yesterday, and she's wanting to know like what to say when following up with people. And this is a very common question. So I was like, let me do a training on this. So let me give you an example. Let's say I ATM someone, add tag message to expose people to our products and opportunity. But at the end of the day, most people don't follow up with you saying, hey, can I give you my credit card now? Hey, what's your website? I'm ready to buy. Most people, you're going to have to follow up with them. You're going to have to stay in touch. Write this down. 7, 10, 12 follow-ups. And that could be over the course of weeks, months, or even years. It's just the way it goes. That's why you got to play the long game. That's why you got to be in it to win it. That's why you got to think long term. But with that being said, if I ATM someone, let's say it's on Friday, if I'm in their inbox on the weekend, the very next morning, like, hey, Bob, did you watch the videos yet? What did you like best? Did you see an opportunity for yourself? Coming on too strong, way too strong. Maybe I follow up the next morning and say, hey, Bob, it was great chatting with you last night. I hope you're having a great start to your day. I just wanted to touch base and see if you've had a moment to review some of the information. If you had a chance to take a look at the groups or watch any of the videos I tagged you in. Now, for me personally, I typically tag people in the welcome post in our social retail community. And I know we got people on here from various network marketing companies. We have this one group in particular. There's a welcome post right there in the featured section. And it has this 12-minute video that I want every single business prospect to watch. So for us, we've automated a lot of our systems and, the way we expose people, but there's this one video in particular I want them to watch. And until they watch that video, personally, I don't like getting into too much detail. So if someone says, well, what's the comp plan or what's the cost to get started? I'm like, hey, did you watch that 12-minute video yet? And they'll say, oh, I'm not sure which one that was. And I'm like, okay, it's this one. Make sure you watch this. And they're like, oh yeah, I did watch that. But a lot of times they're like, no, I missed that one, even though I tag them in it. Remember, as a leader, as a recruiter, as a builder, you have to be okay with most people not remembering what you said the first time. You're going to have to be okay with, hey, I signed up 5 people this month and nobody's doing anything. That's because you have to be in touch and coach and mentor and give them guidance and, give them steps to success. Even though you tagged them in all the trainings and everything's there, the reason you're their enroller, their sponsor, their mentor is to help guide them through the process. Well, guess what? It's the same thing with prospects. In fact, I look at it like this. This is my mindset. Even a prospect, I'm training them. I am training that prospect from the very first moment. Now, it doesn't matter how you got the prospect. It doesn't matter how you got the prospect. It doesn't matter if it's from Reels, TikToks. It doesn't matter if they came to you or you went to them. It doesn't matter if it was a customer that you upgraded to a distributor. It doesn't matter. Warm market, cold market, none of that matters. What matters is what you do with them. And me, I like ATM because it's simple and anybody can do it. And I tell them all I'm going to do is add you to this group, tag you in some information. But the point is when I follow up, I know that people are busy. I know that this new business that they're casually looking at. Now, again, we want the serious. We want the committed. We want the people with a high desire. Here's what I'm looking for. Write this down. I'm looking for people with WHIP. WHIP. Work ethic, hunger, integrity, and personal power. If I can find people with those 4 attributes, game on. If I can find someone that just wants to work and actually follow the system, game on. Now, luckily for me, I'm very blessed. I've got one of the best teams in all of network marketing. Like literally, we're in the top 50 income earners in the entire profession, which means I have one of the top 50 teams in the entire industry. But those people did not come in my first couple years. Most of the people on my team today, I didn't even know my first 15 years in the profession. So again, gotta play the long game. I think the one thing that I had that was like a natural ability is I knew how to communicate with people. I knew how to talk to people. I knew how to be cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, be cool. If you need them, it's not attractive. It's not appealing. People want to work with people that have strength, not weakness, that are going somewhere, that are excited. Now, again, there's that fine line between being excited and having enthusiasm, but not being too hypey or too annoying. So I know for some of us, this is tough because you're like, well, how do I show them that I'm excited, but not come on too strong? And this is something that takes time. It takes time, but eventually you'll start to notice, like when someone pulls back, you're not going to lean in. You're not going to lean in on them. If they pull back, I pull back, right? Because you don't want to feel like you're chasing people. You don't want to feel like you're begging people. How many of us are on the same page? But you just become a great question asker, right? Become a great question asker. That sounds so funny. Human first. You want to be a human first, a marketer second. You don't want to come on too strong. And remember that if you can make them laugh, you can make them buy, right? If you can make them smile, make them feel good, they will partner up with you. They will buy from you. But if you're super pushy and it doesn't feel like you actually care about them, in fact, write that down. If I were to just pinpoint why people like working with me and why I've attracted so many high caliber people, why I have people walking away from a 6-figure income to partner with me, I make them feel good. I make them, they feel like I care about them, which by the way, I do. I genuinely care. And I know some of you care also, but you seem, even if you do care about them, you seem like you mostly care about making money. And that's a problem. That's a big problem. In fact, let me ask you this. With some of your prospects that you're struggling with, do you even know why they're interested? Do you know why they're interested? Do you know why they want to make money? Do you know why they want to lose weight? Do you know why they're wanting your products? Do you know why they're expressing interest? Because if you don't even know their pain point or their problem, how can you solve a problem you're unaware of or that they're unaware of? This is why you become a great question asker. How are things going? What are you up to these days? How's business? Are you guys impacted by what's going on with the economy? Are you guys impacted by what's going on with the gas prices, inflation? The more you care about people and the more you show up in their newsfeed and their stories, the more they see you showing up with positivity. They can tell that you're passionate about what you do. The more likely it is for them to do business with you. Plain and simple. This is the only thing I worry about. Like, I hope I don't miscommunicate this, but I'm not saying to someone, well, what's your why? Right? And I know it's like, again, it's just like a small distinction, but in the beginning, people don't really know their why. I didn't know my why. I just wanted to make some money. You want to know why they are looking at your products, why they're looking at the opportunity, but it doesn't have to be like a why that makes them cry, You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't have a why that made me cry. I just didn't want to have a job. I just didn't want to have a job, just over broke. I just didn't want to live paycheck to paycheck and have more month than money. How many of us know what I'm talking about? And then I got involved in network marketing and I made a whole bunch of money. And then I realized I was working 100 hours a week and I didn't have freedom and I didn't have residual income and I didn't have duplication and I wasn't building the business that I wanted to build. So I ended up with major MLM PTSD. And guess what? I realized that I wasn't the only one. Now, I didn't realize that at first. It took years to discover the fact that a lot of network marketers were burnt out. They were sick of chasing friends and family. They were sick of feeling like an infomercial. They were sick of having to do a bajillion calls and drive to all these meetings and go to all these trainings, invest all this money in product or invest all this money in seminars or travel or all of the above, and not ultimately earning profits in their business. And they lost their belief. They lost their hope. And it sucks because there's been a lot of really good people that have gotten involved in our profession that got that MLM PTSD so badly that they literally gave up on their dreams. And they gave up on this profession altogether. They'd rather go work a job or start a traditional business with way more risk than be a part of some Ponzi scheme. And quite honestly, when I see these anti-MLM people out there, a lot of their points are valid. I mean, they're not wrong about, the old school way of building a business like this can be a major turnoff. So I started communicating that and attracting people. And then when people would start following me, I reached out. I built a relationship. I asked questions. What do you do? How long have you been doing it? How's that going? Is there anything I can do to support you? And I started offering free coaching, free mentorship, free advice, building the relationship with, by the way, no desire to recruit I wasn't trying to, I didn't have an agenda. I didn't have this goal of hitting them over the head with my opportunity and saying, look, my comp plan is better than your comp plan. My business is better than your business. No, but naturally they were attracted to me because I kept showing up in their newsfeed, in their stories. Every time I talked to them, I was a human first and a marketer second. This is where a lot of people struggle. They come on too strong. They have commission breath. Here's another reason people suck at selling is they don't talk about their products or business at all. Do you expect people to buy a product they don't know you sell? How much belief do you really have in your product or your company if you're not willing to share it with people? You have to wonder, are you serious? Are you committed? Do you really believe in what you're doing? Because if you do, then why are you keeping it a secret? Why are you keeping it? Are you a secret agent? Are you a secret agent? I don't think so. You need to be loud and proud without saying the name of your company. So people will follow us and they'll see that we offer liquid collagen. They'll see before and after pictures, mostly in our stories. That's where we mostly promote our products and create curiosity. We promote our referral post giveaways and we do it pretty often. If you follow my stories, you've seen my stuff, but it's not in your face and it's not the only thing we post. Because we mostly promote value, lifestyle, behind the scenes. I'm posting stuff with my dogs and my kids and Nadya and just having fun, and people get to know us. They like us, so they're more open to doing business with us. So you got to be a human first, marketer second. And by the way, sometimes when I follow up with people, I know this is crazy, write this down, but I do it. I'll follow up with someone. Let's say I'm talking to Brittany. Brittany expresses interest in my products or opportunity. I ATM her, right? I'm following up. See what she liked best, if she has questions, whatever, and she doesn't get back to me. Well, my goal is to change the subject. I might simply ask her, write this down. Hey, Brittany, hope you had a great weekend. How are things coming along? And that's it. Hey, Brittany, hope you had a great weekend. How are things coming along? Now, don't you think it's possible that she's more likely to respond to that message because human first, marketer second? Because I actually asked her how her weekend was, how things are coming along. And by the way, I'll follow up with people and they'll tell me straight up, you know what? I appreciate your follow up. The timing isn't good, but maybe in a month or maybe in a week or whatever it is. And I'll follow up in a week or a month, or I'll just stay in touch. The point is when they can tell you genuinely care about them and you don't seem so eager or pushy, they're more likely to respond to you. A lot of times you get ghosted because, like I said earlier, you come on too strong. You don't seem like you care about them. You just care about signing them up or making money. So the more you can get creative with your follow-ups, and this is actually number 2. This is the second thing. You always want to find creative excuses to follow up with people. Creative excuses. I'll give you an example. Write this down. Every single Friday is follow-up Friday. Every single Friday is follow-up Friday. So on Fridays, I follow up with people for multiple reasons. One, I'm not as busy on Fridays. Number two, most people are in a good mood on Friday. People get paid on Friday, you know what I'm saying? But number four, we always have our weekly Saturday call, and it's always tremendous. Our weekly Saturday team call is always freaking amazing. Now, I don't know in your team or in your company if you have a weekly call or weekly training, but for us, that's when ours is. And I like following up with people on Friday to invite them onto the call. Because the way I look at it is if they're thinking about joining, I want them to get trained. I want them to be inspired. I want them to hear tips and tricks and, hear what other people are doing and hear, what their experience has been like, which is what our Saturday call is. It's training, but it's also people telling their story. It's people that are rank advancing. They're having success, maybe building a customer base, recruiting, social media, whatever. And it's always really good. It's about an hour long, but I love it because I'm sifting. I'm sorting, not selling. So if I follow up with someone on Friday and I invite them onto the team call, and they get on the team call on Saturday and they don't like it, which is very rare, but let's say somebody's like, I don't like it. I'm not interested. To me, it's like next, I cross them off my follow-up book. And I hope, write this down, I hope you all have a follow-up book or you have a CRM, a database. You have somewhere that you're putting every single person you ATM. I have a follow-up book. That's it. It's just a book of people with their names. My goal is either to cross their name off because they're a not now, not yet, next, or to circle their name because they became a customer or a social marketer on my team. That's it. And I know the more people I add to my follow-up book, which means the more people I ATM, the more money I make. So you want to ATM your face off. You want to ATM your way to an MBA, a massive bank account. So you should have a reminder in your phone every single Friday. It's follow-up Friday. I'm going to follow up with all my business prospects. Now, listen, you might say, well, John, I just need to get better at getting customers. It's the same difference. I was talking to a lady this morning. I was asking her, which products were you interested in? Have you had a chance to check out our Live Clean tribe, our Facebook community yet? And she's like, yeah, I'm in there. I've seen some of the testimonials. I really want to, and then she just basically told me some of her goals, how she wanted to lose weight. And she's looking for something that can be a meal or an appetite suppressant, right? Like she's looking for, and I was like, look, you should really try our lean body system. If you were to get the whole system, it's 3 products in one, you'll save about $40, $30, whatever it is, versus if you bought each product individually. And if you set up a subscription, you could actually save 5, 10, or even 15%. If you maintain the subscription, you could save, up to 30% after the 3rd month. And I just kind of gave her some details. She appreciated that. I gave her some options. I said, hey, listen, you don't have to do a subscription. You don't have to get the full system. You can just try one product. It's up to you. But this is the most popular option. This is how you can maximize the savings. And I was just giving her clarity, right? You have the doctor approach. You almost want to look at it like you're giving a consultation. So it's like I'm giving her advice. I'm giving her some clarity on the prices, the different products I'd recommend. I tagged her in some testimonials that she could see. She's like, what can I expect the first 30 days? And I'm very upfront with people. And by the way, write this down. You want to be like 80 to 90% positive, but about 10%, like, I hate saying negative, but just if you make it sound too good to be true and like it's just perfect, it works for everybody, that's not a good idea. So I've said, hey, look, this is the best system. These are the products I would recommend. This is my favorite flavor. But I'll say the cleanse, the 3-day cleanse, it's great. It doesn't taste super great. I'm not a big fan of the flavor. Some people like it. I don't. I just chug it. I mix it cold water and I just chug it. The point is, I didn't make it sound perfect. And because I gave her some truth and I talked about how it doesn't taste super good. And look, that doesn't have to be your truth. Your truth could be something else. Your truth could be, hey, some of the people that start using the products, the scale doesn't move too much, but they lost inches. So you want to pay attention to your before pictures. You want to take before pictures, measurements. So again, you're giving them advice because when you think of it like this, right? You go to a doctor, you get a diagnosis, you got the symptoms, and then they give you the solution. You're trusting that doctor. So it's the same thing here. But again, you want to find creative ways and excuses to follow up with people. You want to change the subject with people. Don't even mention your products or business when you're following up with people. See if they bring it up, especially the ones that are dragging their feet. Most people don't join after one follow-up. You put them in a group chat and they're like, I'm in, take my money. What's your sign-up link? In fact, those are the people that sometimes disappear. Yeah, I'm ready. What are the packs? Give me your link. I'm ready to go. And then you give it to them, and then you like follow up over the course of the week, and you're like, what happened to Sam? Sam's not even checking the message, not even opening the message, right? The little like, where it shows the little icon or whatever. You could see where they last opened your message, and it was like 3 weeks ago. That's when you say next. But you want to stop selling, start closing. You got to close business, y'all. What are you afraid of? Why? Let me ask you this. Aren't you glad that someone closed me? Because now here I am training you. Aren't you glad someone closed you? Because now you have the opportunity to earn an unlimited amount of money. You have the opportunity to build residual income. You have the opportunity to build an empire, a legacy for your children's children's children. You have the opportunity to build wealth. Now, if you don't believe that, well, then you're right. Like we talked about in the beginning. If you don't believe you can be wealthy, then you're right. If you don't believe you can be successful, then you're right. And guess what? You're self-sabotaging your own dream. It is your fault that your business isn't growing. It's not the economy. It's not the price of the products. It's not because you grew up in a small town. It's not because you're an introvert. It's because you're making excuses. There are people more introverted than you. There are people with less expertise than you. There are people with a smaller network than you. There are people with less abilities than you, and they're building a profitable business. They're having success. There are people from all walks of life building, crushing, making money in a business just like this, in your same company, possibly in the same company as you. So what's the excuse? Because listen, last time I checked, your excuses don't pay your bills. And you can't make money and make excuses. So I'm just telling you, the fortune's in the follow-up. Most people, like I said before, you have to follow up them 7 to 12 times. And by the way, that's in all sales. And stop with this whole like, oh, I'm not in sales. I don't like selling. What does that even mean, you don't like selling? To me, that means you don't like being pushy. You don't like begging, obviously. Nobody likes that. And by the way, nobody likes rejection. I'm not like, oh man, I hope I get rejected today. I hope someone turns me down. I hope this big prospect I'm working on, I hope they decide to go to a different company. Nobody likes that. Nobody wants to be rejected, but you just know that's a part of the deal. I'm going to have more rejection than acceptance. I'm going to have more no's than yeses, but whoever gets the most no's typically ends up with the most yeses. The only difference between you and me is I've ATM more people than you. I still ATM more people than most people. I still do more group chats and recruit more people than most people. Now people be like, I don't know how you do it, John. I don't know how you do it. It's 20 years of experience. If I was at your job for 20 years, I'm sure I'd be good at that too. But if I were to come to your job right now and I saw what you were doing, I'd be like, oh my gosh, how do you do it? I don't get it, right? Like, it's just experience. You become more efficient and effective over time with follow-up, with coaching people, with selling, recruiting, duplication. It just takes time and effort and consistency. But if you don't believe, you will not achieve.